I'd be interested in hearing from Mr. Brock and also from Mr. Cheesar as to the benefits of rejoining, or on the opposite side, for the past year, what detriment did we have from not being a member?
In addition to that, I'd also like to hear what benefits we had when we were a member. Some of you will report some of the documents that you furnished us that we did at a meeting, as I recall, were published under duress from you at the time. So I'd like to know what you think about that too. How's that going to change?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
There was a letter that went out seeking input from businesses and some other things, and I seem to recall a conversation with you that you were not happy with the way it was worded and some of the other things about that letter that was sent to those businesses, and that appears to be the letter that was used in your management report, at least the information from that.
Oh, well, in garnering the support for the 63 project, correct?
Right.
Absolutely. We did take some offense to that letter that went out and that wording that did go out. As I mentioned in my report, and I'll continue to try to speak up, you know, there are benefits, I think, to being on a member. Obviously, benefits of membership to the city would include attendance at chamber meetings as members. I also believe that as members, we will have a better standing with those businesses within Monroe that continue to support the chamber. And I believe as a member, we can more effectively influence the discussions of the membership of the Chamber of Commerce rather than being outside of membership. That's the benefits that I see. You know, obviously we're not going to, as a non-business entity, going to reap the rewards or benefits of chamber membership that business entities see. Grouping some pools, the networking opportunities that the chambers exist to provide. But since the chamber now has public affairs committees and looks to push agendas, those types of things, I think we need to be active in that membership. That's what my recommendation is for rejoining based off of.
The one plus I see is I feel that it does send a message to the employment, the businesses that we have here in Monroe, that we support them being part of it, and you know that we want to be a part of that group. That would be the biggest thing. Again, I would like to see the chamber be a little more receptive to the city and be a little more positive. You know, I hate to see negative things, and that's how it all came out, was negative comments about the city of Monroe. And how can you be part of an organization if that organization doesn't support you? So, you know, I would challenge the chamber, Mr. Trick, to, you know, be a little more positive for the city, and I don't have a problem with being part of the chamber yet.
If it's all right with you, I'd love to be able to hear Mr. Trick's opinion on what he feels that the chamber can bring for us here in Monroe. If you'd like to speak with up here, I'd like to be able to hear what he has to say, if that's okay with you guys.
If he doesn't mind being put on the spot.
Mr. Trick.
Good evening, Council. Pleasure to be here. This is a little bit somewhat of a surprise to me. I appreciate that, and I'm sure you appreciate that as well. But we would be honored to have the membership reinstated, you know, in the Chamber of Commerce from the city of Monroe. We want to be engaged positively with your city and your residents, and certainly your businesses. It's always the mission of the Chamber to be supportive of economic development, which is jobs and growth. That's a consistent message. That's also something I think you believe in as well. So we're on the same track on that. We're always looking in that process to be on guard for things that are happening in the environment that we think are aiding and assisting in meeting that mission for our businesses. We hope that if we ever do come across any areas that might be I don't want to say controversial, but in somewhat disagreement, that we're able to represent our businesses in the community. That's a big part of your tax base. It's the same interest that you have as well. That's what we'll always try to do. And I think it's very easy for us to work with the governmental bodies. It's unusual for a community governmental entity to not be engaged with the chamber. Certainly in the other two communities that we're involved in, Middletown and Trenton, we enjoy the membership and we enjoy that positive relationship that we do have with those city councils. I'd be happy to address any particular questions that you might have in mind.
What would you propose that push through on our behalf into the other communities that you represent?
I'm sorry.
There are several projects that you have working. The 63 extension, and there's been some talk about, that we're not going to see any additional traffic from that. You've made those statements a couple times, and then at the same time, it's going to be a windfall for the city as far as opportunity. Well, if there's not going to be any additional traffic, where does the windfall come from? And are you willing to push our position back to the other entities involved in this?
Well, the 63 is a regional project that enjoys the support of the Butler County Commissioners, the county engineer, county TID, the city of Trenton is on record that it's important for them to have a connection to I-75 that they thought they were always going to be able to have. That goes back a number of years when a large business in that particular community was attracted to this area. That's something that we think benefits the entire region, and we feel that it also benefits the city of Monore to have Route 63 extended in much the same way that communities that are along Route 675 that goes around Dayton on the southeastern side. We feel that's a benefit to the city of Monroe. We realize that not everyone in the city believes that, but it's our opinion that it does benefit the city of Monroe as a community. It's also, and one thing that I'll refer to is the survey that probably what Mr. Rock's talking about is letters that have gone to the business community as well as to the city to ask them if they will be positively impacted if 63 continues to the west. And without exception, everyone who's responded to that survey, every business or other organizations responded said it definitely would impact them positively. So we summarize that in effect for your benefit to say that your businesses, as well as other entities, all feel that there'll be a positive impact on their organization, and they're very much in favor of that.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
I'll do a roll call on this one, please.
Yes, sir. Mayor Rodson?
Yes.
Mrs. Rubin?
No.
Mr. Shell?
Yes.
Mrs. Stillman?
Yes.
Mrs. Hale?
Yes.
Mr. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
No.
Motion carried.